start recording. So let's first start with homework, and then we can discuss what we do next, because I mentioned that some of you maybe need some more practice in general Python, and I had a regular expressions topic today in mind. But regular expressions is a bit off Python, and maybe we should think about some practice thing, or do practice next lesson, take regular expressions now. So let's start with homework. I will create a homework.py. Homework.py. And let's start by doing the homework. So homework was, let's say, consisted of two different parts. First part was compulsory, second part was optional. So the compulsory part was that you need to take this table, CSV file, read it, and write a code that takes top 3 countries on any of these field names. Or top 10, yeah. So second task was, if you want, you can do a menu where a user can choose between these columns, and also maybe choose how many top countries he wants to see. So let's start with the first part, and I want to show you two different solutions, because I did show you the Lambda function and key parameter in sort method. You have an easy solution for that, because you can do it with a small function. But also there is a solution without using key, but it's a little bit complex, but I think you should see it in order to understand how you can go around some things. So it's not always a best solution that you do the shortest code. So speaking about that, there are two approaches. There is a declarative approach and imperative approach. And the thing is that one of them uses the all possible shortcuts, like 4 cycles in one line and so on and so on. The other use more classic approach, where you write all ifs, fors, and try not to save some space. And the reason for that is that program that is written in that, let's say, has larger code is easier to, let's say, add something in it. So maybe if you have a task that you need to expand your program, it's easier when you have all of the cycles done, because if you have all of the shortcuts, like short ways of sorting, of doing this code, so maybe then you will need to delete everything and rewrite, but from the other hand, you won't. So let's start with opening files. So let's do with open CSV files 2019 CSV. We will open it for reading, and I will do encoding as well. UTF-8 as file. And easiest way was to read file, convert it to list, and apply a sort method, and write a proper function to extract needed field name. So I'm showing you without menu. I will show how to do menu in the end, but I won't be writing the whole program. So first things first, we can read this file, and we need the CSV module for that. So let's import it, CSV. CSV dot. We can take any reading methods here. I will use reader, just getting the lists, but you can use any because there's no significant difference. So CSV reader file, and let's check what we get and remind ourselves that CSV reader is an iterator. So it's not that easy. Well, it's not a proper list. This means that we don't have these list methods here. So we can't apply list methods to iterator. So what I'm offering you to do is to convert this iterator to a list, because we will need to sort it. So let's convert it to list. We will get this list here. And another thing, just because we have these headers inside, I would actually do it a bit differently. I would take next, let's say headers equals to next data, and then I will convert it to list data. And the reason for that is that I want to extract all of the field names and leave this list pure. Leave this list pure without any headers. So now when we have this list, the only thing we need to do is sort it and take first 10 values out, or last 10 values, depending on how we sort. So for sorting purposes, we can use a sort method. So data.sort. And as you remember, last lesson I showed you how to create a Lambda function in order to use it inside this key parameter. So if we look at this list in here, so by creating a Lambda function, let's say Lambda x, let it be x or anything else. So by doing that, Python will take this list, so the whole list with all of the data, and use each element of this list as a x, as an x, like that. So this small list will go to this x. So pretty much what will happen inside the sort method, Python will take list, run it through a for cycle, and compare different values with different lists. So if we leave sort key empty, it will use first element of the list to sort. So you will get sorted list like it is in a list after we read it, like it is in the CSV table. So we don't want that. We want to take value of some field name. And speaking about field names, we can take GDP and everything that was to the right of it. So let's say 0, 1, 2, 3. So GDP is free. Let's take free now, and then we will rewrite it to accept any value. So lambda x, and we want to return a third index from that x. So this index 0, 1, 2, 3, this index will be used for sorting purposes. So all of these lists will be sorted by this GDP value. And we can actually extract first values. Actually, no. If we look at what we get here, let's see, print data. Or actually, I will write a for cycle for you. For item in data, print item. So we can see each item on a separate line. So if you look here, we can see that actually we have a ascending sorting order. So basically, the first country has the least GDP value, and we can either turn this list around. So we have this reverse method, or we have the square brackets, double colon, and -1. Or while sorting, we can say reverse equals true, so we will sort in descending order. So let's run it again. Okay, I don't want Microsoft Teams. My sister was visiting me here on holidays. Asked my computer to use for school purposes, and now it's coming up all the time. So if we do it like that, we have all of the lists sorted by GDP now. So the only thing left is to extract first 10 values. And you can do it with different approaches. I will use for cycle for that, and I will say for index in range 10. Because I need 10 values, I will say index of range 10, and let's say print data, and we will put index inside the square brackets. So range 10 will give us a range of numbers from 0 to 9 including, what will allow us to extract first 10 countries by GDP. So that's an easy solution. Using a key, using a lambda function. It's not that hard. Usually I don't show lambda function by that time. So I give this homework without lambda function to see how students will do. But we had some time left. That's why we took this lambda. But I can show you a different solution as well. So let's say we didn't do that. I will leave a comment that, let's say like that, using lambda. And without lambda. So if we, for example, don't know lambda, and we still need to sort, to take first top 10 countries by this, by any of these field names, we need to understand that we will still need to use sort method. And I showed you last lesson that sort method uses first item of the list if it sorts list elements. So what we need to do is create a new list of countries and put this GDP value to the first element, and then let's say country name to the second place. So we will be able to use sort without any keys.
Yeah, but for that we can use the headers as well.
I wouldn't use headers because they will be used for sorting purposes as well. And we might get error that we are trying to compare a float with a string.
Okay. Is there an option to do it without this next function? If we have read the file,
Yeah.
and then we will do the sorting.
Yeah, but we need to get rid of those because they will be used for sorting purposes as well. And as far as we remember, numbers go first, then letters, and then we will always have these field names in there. So it's better to get rid of them, save them in a separate variable in case you want to use it later for print purposes, for example. So let's do it like that. So what we need to do now then, we will be using, actually we will create a, let's say result, and it will be an empty list because we need to recreate this list. So we basically need to reorganize data inside the list. And what I will do, I will say that for item in data, result.append, and we actually don't need all of this rest data if we're sorting by one field name. So we can actually say that we are appending a list, and the first will be item 3. So I'm extracting this GDP per capita value. Why am I doing that? Because I will be using normal sort method without key, and it will use first value to sort. So I need to put this value on the first place, otherwise I won't be able to sort it normally. And then I will take item 1, that will be a country name. But if you want, you can actually write all of this here. So it's up to you. It's not needed. So what we will get in the end, result. In the end, we will receive a list where we have this smaller list inside, and we have this GDP per capita value and a country name. So with this list, we can easily sort without using keys. So what we will do result dot sort descending, was it reverse? Sorry, reverse equals true, and do the same thing with for cycle in range to extract first 10 values. So we can say for index in range 10. Print result index. Let's have a go. So that's another way of getting this list sorted. Of course, it's not the best way because if we want to get all of the data, we would have manually add all of the indexes here. We can use a map method. I can show you how it works, but map method uses a function as well. Yeah, but that's one of the ways to go around using this key if you have any problems. Any questions? All right, so what can we do to create a menu for that? I will be using this upper example, but actually it will work with this one as well. But I will use upper one because it's a little bit better in my opinion. So I will copy that. I will leave it like so. Let's say menu version. So we have this data sorted list, and what I want to do is that I want to create a menu. I will do def, let's say menu, while true to give opportunity to select many times.
I feel that the upper is data equals to CSV reader file.
Yeah, of course. We still need to read it. I will copy that inside our function in a second. Actually, no. I will create a new function here. Get top.
But this is outside of the
Yeah. Because we did read everything, and the only thing we need to do here is say data equals list data. And the reason for that, I want to reuse this list, and I can't reuse iterator. That's why I'm converting to list right away. So add that, please.
Okay. But not I added it after menu.
Now I added here because we want to reuse it. We will read once, and then we can call functions as many times as we want because this is saved to our global scope view. We will rework this function now. So we will create a separate function. Put path here. We will create a separate function get top. I pasted this code inside, so we don't need this first line because we did it right after the with, so we can delete this data equal list data. And let's think that our get top function should receive an index to corresponding field name, and it should receive number that is a top. How many countries we want to see. So let's say we will get field name, and we will get top. And for this function, all we need to do is to change that number 3, that field name index, to our field name. So the function will pass field name to this Lambda function, so we can choose from the other menu, and then we can change that amount of countries with the top. So we can pass number here and choose how many countries we will be printing. And now we can do everything else inside the menu. So we will ask for user choice. That will be input. Inside here, I want to give opportunity to choose between all of these columns. So let's say one will be one will be GDP per capita /n. 2 will be social support /n. 3 will be healthy life expectancy /n. 4 will be freedom to make life choices. Generosity. 6 will be perceptions of corruption. Let's say 0 will be for exiting. So exit /n, and I will do it like that, so user will see where he enters. All right. So here we can check what user was inputting. So we can say if thinking about, should we store top in a separate variable somewhere, and user can choose top once and then get results, or we'll be asking top for top every time? Because if you want to ask every time, we can actually add it here. So we won't be using this top. So every time user choose something from here, he will be asked for these top countries inside this function. So we can get rid of top in the arguments and say that top is equal to int input. So how many countries? Let's do it like that, so it will be a bit shorter. So instead of passing top to a function, we can ask for top right inside this function, because still we need this top only for this function to run, so we can do it like that. So every time user chooses some field name, he will be asked how many countries he wants to see. We won't be doing a error checking here, but if you enter some letters, let's say, so there will be an error. I'm not showing error checking again using try except, just do the short version. Okay, is it done? Right. So now we can actually say if user choice equals 1, we will call get top with an index 3 because it's GDP, and then we will have index 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. So actually we need to create elif user choice equals 2 get top 4 and so on and so on. So I will just copy that. So we have this 3, 4. Oops. So we have this user choice 3, user choice 4, and user choice 5. 5. And another one, user choice 0.
Zero should be else.
There was 6 choices.
6 choices. Okay, let's do another one. No, 0 shouldn't be else, because else should be any other value that is not in this list. So basically, user choose between 0 and 6, and if he enters anything else, we can show message that sorry, try again, or something like that. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 corresponding, and here we can do a break. And also an else that says choice is out of range. Try again. Right, let's test. Okay, we need to run this function as well. So I will run menu here at the bottom. So GDP per capita, push 1. How many countries? 10. And I get the same result we had previously. So for example, I'm interested in perceptions of corruption. I didn't change this choice to 6, so it gives me an error. So perceptions of corruption, let's say I want to see 3 countries, and it's Singapore, Rwanda, and Denmark. Or maybe I want to get something else, let's say freedom to make life choices. I want, I don't know, 30 countries maybe. So I can get that. And 0 is for exiting purpose. Right, does it work? Okay, any questions? Edwin, you had solution with map method. That's okay. That's okay. I always say it's a good thing that people search for something in the internet and find theirs. Only one thing, you need to try to understand how it works. So map method actually takes a function, runs each element of the list through the function, and then returns a copy of modified list. So when you put str there, it uses each element converts to string and returns a new list with converted elements. So yeah, I will show you map methods a bit later, but we need to decide now. We can take a new topic that is not actually only Python. So regular expression is writing, let's say, blueprints to find text, to find something inside text. For example, Estonian national ID. We have 11 digits or numbers. First number can be from 1 to 8, second number and third can be any because it's year. Then two numbers can be a month. This means between 0, 1 till 12. And then you have 0, 1 till 31. So what regular expressions does is that we write and explain how to search similar things in text without saying what exactly we are looking for. So it's more like a pattern to search similar data. Or maybe we want to get all emails from text. So we need to explain how email looks in order to get all possible emails. So that's what the regular expressions about. What I'm offering you is that we take regular expressions this lesson, and I will think by next lesson, maybe we do some, let's say, half independent, half teamwork, and do some small project in class.
Like all the repeater.
No, I will give you some tasks, give you, let's say, 15-20 minutes to do one task, then we can look at it, then we do, let's say, extend this task, and so on and so on. So we can do some, you can write something on your own, ask me, and then I show you some solutions as well. Because I just don't want to be an improvisation, I want to get ready a little bit. So I wasn't ready to do it today. So I need some time to think about what sort of project we will be doing.
But basically, next lesson I will work on something that we learned already.
Yeah, just do some practice.
Okay.
Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Yep. Marie, Marek, is that okay with you?
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So let's take regular expressions today then. What I will do, I will open you this cheat sheet. We will need it today. And I also, let me update this GitHub. I don't want you to write it by hand. Stop, I need to delete some files here. I will delete the homework by. Cheat sheet rest is okay. So I will update the GitHub and Regex. Right, I updated the GitHub, and what I want you to do is to go to tester.py and copy these 4 variables here. It's URLs, emails, sentence, and text to search. So 4 different variables. We need these variables to work with examples. So what I want you to do is copy them and save it to Python file you will be working in. So it's tester.py. It's GitHub 00 folder 009 regular expressions.
We will learn how to push GitHub as well.
Yep. But for that we will need to install GitHub, and I need to know you have a Mac. Marek, Marie, anyone has a Mac also, or you're using Windows?
I
I
have
have
Windows.
Windows, okay. Because for Mac, there will be a little bit different setup for GitHub.
We should
But
download the tester, right?
you can download it, or you can just copy text from it. It's up to you. Because you only need 4 variables from here and nothing else. Is everyone ready? So today we will be speaking about regular expressions, and library re is responsible for that in Python. Actually, the topic of regular expressions is not something that is special for Python only. Pretty much every programming language has its own library or maybe built-in functions to work with regular expressions. So what these regular expressions, or sometimes you can hear a short name as regex, or regex. That's a pattern, let's say, the way to write patterns to search for something in text without giving a proper value. So this can be pretty much anything, or maybe you want to search for addresses that have the same pattern. Maybe you want to search for some serial numbers. Maybe it's ID codes. It's pretty much everything. It depends on you and how you will use it. But regular expressions is one important topic because, as you've seen before, when we were trying to look for something in text, we only found first occurrence. So when we were using find method, it only returned an index where the first occurrence of that word was, and we couldn't find everything in text. Second thing, we had to write the value. So if I was writing, I'm looking for world, that must be a world including all of the letter cases, so case sensitive, so upper or lower case. Regex gives us a little bit more freedom, so we can explain how the value that we're looking for is looking, so what should be in it, but it's not like we are telling the exact value, so it's more a pattern. And regular expressions is widely used in all of the programming languages. So what we have here is different strings. So first one, there's a lot of letters, numbers, and then some other samples. We have these phone numbers, then these people that have these Mr., Mrs., and Miss Mr., Mrs., and Miss articles. Then we have some, a small sentence. We have emails, different sort of emails, and we also have these hyperlinks here that are written in different formats as well. So first things first, we will start with this text to search variable. So I will use that to close, and you need to import this library. So in the beginning of the file you can do an import re or re.
Maybe this is a little bit late to us, but is there a function in PyCharm, not function like how to run only one sentence?
No, not in PyCharm. Maybe some plugin can do that for you, but it's Jupyter Book can do that, so do small pieces of code.
The other.
Yeah, Python works with a full program, so full file. So what am I trying to say? I will open this cheat sheet for you. You can open it yourself. I uploaded it to GitHub as well, but actually it will be on top here, so maybe it's easier for you to look here. And what regular expressions have is its own patterning language or own patterning syntax, let's say. We do have these different directives, or they are split into groups. You can see selectors, anchors, metacharacter selectors, and quantifiers. And all of these are used inside regular expressions in order to look for something inside text. So I will start with basics, and I will remind you that we do have a raw string. Do you remember what raw string meant? R string, string with letter A. I think I did explain it to you, but okay. So if I do it like that, we know that /t, oh sorry, inside /t is a tabulation sign. So every time you have this /t inside your string, it will add 4 spaces of tab. What's wrong with this? That's all right. Don't worry about this error. We actually need to use triple double quotes, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. So we have the /t or /n, for example, to do a line break, and every time we have it inside our code, it usually is read like a part of command. So basically, every time you see a /t, you get a 4 spaces tabulation inside or indent. If I put it twice, like so, I will have 8 spaces of tabulation. So every time I put that inside, I have Python to read this. I have Python reading the string and actually telling me, all right, I put 4 spaces and a tab word. So we know that if I want to escape that, I can put another slash here, and then this slash will be used as a symbol, not as a command, /t. But there's another way. You can put R in front of your string. So by putting R in front of your string, you make Python look at the string as a raw string. So raw string is a string that doesn't have any formatting inside. So basically, everything that is inside that can be read as Python command, like a line break or tabulation, it will be ignored. So I can put a /n here and print that as well, and then do some, let's say /n/n/t/n, and doesn't matter how many times I put it, as soon as this R letter is in front, everything inside this string will be ignored. So why am I explaining this? Because regular expressions require you to provide a raw string for these patterns. And I will delete that. You write it down, yeah? Right, so for regular expressions, you need to create a pattern first. So let's create a pattern variable, and in order to create a pattern, we can use a compile method from a re library. So I'll do re.compile. Then you can look at these snippets. You have patterns as the first one and flags. I will show you flags at the end of this lesson. We will work with patterns now. And pattern is a string, and it is highly recommended that you use raw strings for that. So let's put R, two quotes. And for the first example, I will just write A, B, C inside. If I print this pattern and run the code, you will see that it actually has almost the same line as you have inside your code. So re.compile, ABC, the only letter R is missing. So the pattern itself doesn't do anything. Pattern itself is just an instruction for regular expressions on what are we searching for. In order to search, we need to run another method. And there are different methods to search data. I will start using only one now. And in somewhere closer to the second part of the lesson, we will look through all of these methods. But for now, I will create a matches variable. And I will use a /finditer there. So I'm using pattern first. So this method is applied to pattern dot, and I will use /finditer method. So basically, method /finditer creates an iterable of text with all the finds it will find inside this string. So the argument in here, you can see it's a string. This means what string are we looking in? So for us, it's a text to search variable. And let's print these matches to see what we get. So it's not something new. CSV Reader returned as iterator as well. So it's the same rules for that. If you use it once, you can't use it second time, or you can convert it to list, then you can reuse it. But for now, I will be using a for cycle and say for match in matches, print match. So what you see here is a regular expression match object. And it consists of a couple of things. First of all, you see a span. A span is a tuple with two numbers, and actually what these numbers represent is a start and end index where this find exists. So if we look at our string, text to search, I will remind you that triple quoted strings remember formatting. So if we speak about first symbol of the string, who can tell me what is it?
Space.
No, not space, line break. Line break. So we have this line break here, and then we have ABC. So if we look at the first match, we see that 1 till 4. So let's say index 1, 3, 4. So 0 is line break, 1, 2, 3, and 4 not included, like pretty much everywhere in Python.
But in compile the pattern we have added ABC and
ABC and R was outside. R was outside. So we're looking for ABC, and the first ABC is from index 1 till 4, 4 not included, so same as everywhere else. And then we get this match. So what did we find? And second match was from somewhere here. So I have another ABC inside the string. So we found the second match that spans from 271 to 274. And the same thing, last index is not included. So if I want, I can actually do a text to, let's say print text to search 271 till 274, print that, and I will get this text. So basically what we did now is that we found an exact copy of what we had inside pattern, and we only had ABC, so we did find these characters. So that's the first thing you get. Speaking about these match values, match items or match objects, it actually does has its own methods too, and let's see what are these. So match dot. So first of all, you have a start method and also an end method. So if we run that, you can see that start and end actually returns us indexes. So first, fourth, pretty much same thing that we have inside span. Also, match has a span itself, so you will get a tuple with two values. So if you don't want them separately, you can use span method and get all of that. And also it has a group method, and a group method is the find itself. So basically text that was found during this finditer method running. So match.group, you can see the same thing that we were looking for, so ABC. So now we have a more complex way of searching for data. But as I told before, you can look for pretty much everything inside the string with the regular expressions. And what I showed, it's only looking for some certain symbols. Do you remember your homework where you had to read the big text and find all of the symbols that are not text? You can use re for that. So you can write in a regular expression that will find everything that is not a letter and, for example, delete it or do something with it. So it's quite a powerful library. But for that, we need to understand how these selectors, anchors, metacharacter selectors, and quantifiers works and why do we have them. So what I will be doing now, I will delete these methods. You can comment them out. And I will be working with this string here with our pattern. And the first thing I want to show you is how it works. So I put this dot inside, just a dot. And you can mention that if I put some text inside, it's colored with yellow. But if I put a dot, it gets a white color. So it changes its color. Let's try running it. So what did I get here? In here, I got pretty much every single symbol I have inside the string, except for newline. And if you read this cheat sheet on the right, you can see that dot is a any character selector except the newline. So basically, using dot inside your pattern will pick everything, any symbol, except for newline. So we won't be able to find any line breaks inside. So that's one of the ways to use it. So dot symbol can work as any symbol. What if I want to use to look for a dot? I don't want to look for any symbol. So all of these selectors need to be escaped if you look for these selectors. So here you can put a forward slash, and then all of our finds will be dots only because we are telling Python that we use dots. And if you look in this first string, I will explain all those during this lesson, but you can look here that if you want to look for any of these symbols, you need to escape them. Dot, this caret, dollar sign, asterisk, plus, question mark. So it's curly braces, square braces, forward slash, this vertical line, and the normal brackets. So these characters need to be escaped, and the reason for that is that all of these characters are used inside this cheat sheet and they are used as a part of regular expression syntax. So you need to escape those if you're looking for those symbols specifically. Otherwise, you can use them in order to do something. So what I'm doing here, for example, I can combine some pre-made text with my selectors in order to get something. So I want to get an example.com, and I won't be escaping dot for now because I want to show you something here. So I do have these many different ways of example.com or example, no, actually I don't have .com, I have this .company. But what I want you to look at, that we found not only one using dots, but we found pretty much every occurrence of example and com that we have in this string. And what I want you to pay attention, okay, it's quite understandable that dot is matching every symbol except newline. But if we look here, we had this example.company, and regular expressions pick that part up. So it didn't pick the rest of it, but you need to understand that regular expression, it looks through the string and searches for anything that match this pattern. So this pattern tells us that we need to find a word example, then some symbol, it doesn't matter, anything but a new line, and then a comma. So that's what we are looking for. And even if I have something like, let's add like that, then it will have example, let's say com and something else like that. This will be fine as a match also. I will show you how to say where the word should end and the word should start. I will do that a bit later, but you need to understand that we are using a pattern to get all of the results that actually look like this pattern. So using dot is any character except newline, and let's move on. So what else can I find? Actually, we do have different selectors. For example, this /s, and it will get you a space, new tab, or new line. So it's one selector for 3 different symbols, and we can use that as well. So if I change this example to /s and run, I can see that what I have here is pretty much all of the spaces and new lines. So I can actually look for something that is not actual text. So pretty much everything. And like we have this white space, we have a reverse. So if we use a capital S, it will be exactly the other way around. So pretty much everything except for new line, tab, or space. So we can do it like that. And we get all of the other symbols, but not getting spaces, tabs, and new lines. Right, so this can be used with other letters, text, or selectors. So for example, I can use something like HA, small /s, HA, and find everything that has a space between. So ha, space, ha. Or if I, for example,
What if I will
just put a space, it will find a space. But if you have, for example, something like that, 2 different lines, and there's a line break between them, and you want to get that as well, putting just space won't return it to you. But if I will add a /s, I will have 3 matches already, because there is one with a line break. So it depends on what you're looking for. Writing a regular expression is not like you have some universal regular expression that will extract what you want from every text. It's always how much you know text you're looking in, and how much and how correct your regular expression is, because it's a quite large topic. I actually know one guy who's a programmer for more than 20 years, or maybe 15 years or so, and all he does is writes regular expressions. So he actually doesn't know how to program, but he's very good, very proficient in the regular expressions, and he can find pretty much everything with those. So it's his job, but just separate topics. So he's not a good programmer, but he's good at regular expressions. But there are many different ways. Of course. If you want a parser, you probably want to use a regular expression. If you want to check what user enters you, the best way is to use a regular expression. For example, if someone enters email, even in HTML, even not speaking about Python, even HTML can accept regular expression in order to check if data entered is correct or not. So, for example, you want person to add his name, so you can only allow him to enter letters, let's say hyphen, space, and letters, and that's it. And you will check through the regular expression if everything he entered is correct through the pattern or no.
You mean the program?
HTML can check, program can check, so it's widely used. So pure HTML, and we will be doing some backend, and you will have one HTML lesson. I won't be showing you a lot, but I want you to explain you how what HTML consists of, because we might be using Python for parsing, and then you need to understand HTML. You might be using Python for testing, and then you need to understand basics of HTML. That's why we will have only one lesson for HTML, so you will understand how to parse something from a web page, for example. And we will be doing a small backend project. So basically a website powered with Python that can accept username, password, check if password is correct, register a user, save its data to a database, and so on and so on. And you can use regular expressions there as well, for example. All right, so /s is looking for whitespace tab or newline, and /S is looking for everything else except space tab and newline. What else do we have? I will come back to other selectors. I want to show you some of these. So what you have here is an anchor. And speaking about anchor, there are two types of anchor. One is for words, and other is for a string. And by saying a string, I mean a string as an object, not just one sentence or one line like here. By saying string, I mean object, the full string. So let's start with words, and you have this line that says ha, then space 2 times ha, then space and 3 times ha. So what we get here, we have ha that has word boundary from the both sides. So it starts with ha and ends with ha. You have nothing else inside. Then you have that example that has a word boundary here, 2 times ha, and the word boundary here. So, and the same with the third one. I will delete these two I added in the end. So if I want to find, let's say, find it like that, and I will run a code, I will get 6 matches. So why I get 6 matches? The reason for that is that I have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's quite understandable. But if I use a /b in here, and run the same code, I will only get 3. And the reason for that is that we put this anchor in front of our pattern, and a regular expression reads that whatever you find must start with these letters. So the beginning of the word. Otherwise, if we look here, so what starts with these words? First one, second one, and the third one. Because rest don't start with a space, it's not the beginning of the word. So we are not catching those two. Same thing if I want my pattern to start and end with my pattern, so nothing else next to it, I can do it like that. So I say word boundary to the left and a word boundary to the right. So I'm getting only one match. And this one match is that first one, because it's a word that consists of 2 letters. So by entering this word boundary, we tell Regex that here we have a start of the word, and if we put it to the end, we say the word's ending here. So that's how this /b pattern works. If we use a /b, capital B, for example, here, I will also get 3 matches. But if you look at indexes, they are different. Let's see, 71, 76, 78, 66, 69, 74. So different indexes. But reason for that is that capital letter B tells us that there must be no word boundary on this side. So by putting it in the front of my pattern, I'm saying that this HA must be inside the word. So some part of the word should be here in front. And we will be getting that one because there are letters in front. It's not beginning of the words. Then we will get that match by the same reasons. And that last one,
But
not the first one, because with capital B, we say there is no word boundary here. With small b, we say there is a boundary. So I can actually...
And the ending is not included here, right?
No, we don't have anything in the end. That's why.
I mean, it's this type, but there would be like just haha.
No, you only get 2 because we have 2 letters to search here. So we're getting the full match. We're not getting anything extra. And by meaning word boundary, let's say world. By saying word boundary, we can say that if I look for or, for example, so what should I put in front to get that or? I should put big B because we have some letters here. And the same, I need to put it to the end because we have letters there. So if I do it /b, sorry, ha, afterwards, this means that this ha must be inside the word. There must not be any spaces or word boundary to the right or to the left of it. So if I do it like that, I only get 1 match. And I get 1 match because there's only one ha that is surrounded by text.
Okay, if you want to put this ending bar B, then it will show the ending ha.
So large B says the word continues there, and word continues in the beginning or in the end, depends where you put it. And small b does the other way around. It says it should be the word ends here. So what we do, we just write a boundary. So we show a boundary that word should end here or word should continue here. And it works for any side you put. Actually, you can have it like that. For example, you can have a longer sample, and we will get 1 match. So I put space and another ha inside. We get 1 match. And if we look at what we get, we actually should get that bit. So once again, I put space and another ha. I say that word continues here, word continues here, and if we look at our text, the only match is that one. So it has ha space ha, then word continues to the left and word continues to the right. It's a big letter B, or capital letter B. And if I change it to small, I won't get any matches because there is not a single sample where ha ha stand outside. So for that to be found, I need to do something like that. All right. Speaking about anchors, we also have this beginning of string and end of string anchors. And for that example, I want you to change this text to search to sentence for now. And sentence, we have this small sentence, start the sentence and then bring it to the end. So let's try. We have this beginning of the string. It's a caret sign. It's shift 6 if you need it. And I will write start. And I get this match. The reason I get this match is because my string does start with this word. But if I use something else from here, let's say I use sentence instead of start and run that, I won't be getting any matches. And the reason for that my string doesn't start with the word sentence. So that anchor actually tells your regular expression pattern to check if string starts with this word, then it's a find. If string doesn't start with this word, we don't have any finds. And it works exactly the same for the dollar sign, end of string. But you need to understand that end of string should be at the end of your pattern. So like that. If I run this code, I won't find anything because my string doesn't end with sentence. But if I use this end word, yeah, from here, I will get a match. So this is a built-in check that string starts or ends with something. You can also have some, let's say, a small string with one word, and you can check like that. So is it a full match? Yeah, only in case of full match. If we have extra space, we don't find anything. If we have extra space in beginning, we won't be able to find anything. So by doing so, it must be a full match. I will put this message back. But I will show you some better examples with this as well. So you will be able to practice. Any questions so far? Let's do a break.
I wanted to ask about that.